Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and in this video I want to give you a guild battle overview with some tips and suggestions. But first of all, just a quick update, because yes, I said I pulled on Lucia banner, but as I quickly wanted to edit it, I realized I accidentally deleted the file when I was deleting all the recordings to make up space. And it's annoying, but I didn't get overly lucky. I got a lot of one stumps, but on the second page I got a bit more lucky and I got overall few copies and then used around 500 Lucia weapon parts to max out the weapon. But as you can see, I didn't pull full 2 pages and I stopped at the second guaranteed copy. But yeah, unfortunately no pull video and I'm sorry for that. But also second, normally I do all guides with commentary to walk you through the battle, but I did the hard tower with just written notes. I didn't have much time and I figured it was just much easier and faster, especially to get them out before the guild battle. But alright, now to this month's guild battle 13, and it's actually our first guild anniversary because guilds were released exactly a year ago. And to celebrate, we got an abomination of a boss, because if you thought previous guild battles were annoying, personally I think this one is the peak, because yes, we had Behemoth King in the past, but now they modified this boss, so it's nothing compared to what it used to be. And we have to use physical fire, but this boss is basically just sigils. And of course it takes advantage of this new damage sigil mechanic that we just got, but they gave him so much HP and so many sigils that Lucia is pretty much essential if you want to get a decent score. But also when I saw that double triangle sigil boostlet on Lucia, I thought it was interesting, but now this guild battle shows why we got it. We always get banners for the content they are being released with, same as we always get a guild battle banner. But having Lucia makes a huge difference, massive difference, because of her banner weapon and that double sigil boost slot. Without her you'll struggle because you need a diamond sigil breaker, which wouldn't be so bad, but while you be breaking diamond sigils, you also need to break a lot of triangle sigils to build up that stagger multiplier, because that stagger phase is our DPS phase. So ideally you want to get maximum multiplier, because outside of that stagger you'll be barely tickling the boss. And that also makes the sigil phase very tight and very easy to fail. Even worse, I always play on manual, but I have heard that on auto or semi, the AI doesn't recognize the triangle sigil, so it will just ignore it instead of breaking it to increase that multiplier. But that also means that your score will suffer a lot, because you won't have that high damage multiplier during that stagger DPS phase, so you'll do a lot less damage, so that's even worse. But Lucia seems to be the most crucial character here, because of her whole kit with buffing fire damage, applying enfeeble, but also that double triangle sigil boost slot. And thanks to it she breaks insane amount of triangles to get that maximum multiplier, and for that whole time your DPS can be dealing damage to the boss. And without Lucia's limit break weapon, you'll need to focus your whole team on breaking those triangles to get a good stagger multiplier. But as usual, on lower stages you don't really need to focus on keeping your team alive and have a healer, because the boss doesn't really do much damage to you. So you should also get hit only by one charge attack, so on those lower stages it really won't do much damage, so you can fully focus on just dealing damage to the boss. And you could also have a full DPS team without a healer. But I think starting with stage 4, you definitely want a healer and MDEF buffs, unless your stack magic defense stats quite high on your characters, otherwise that charge attack might or likely will kill you or you'll die later during sigil phase. And this time the armory features Sephiroth and Barret weapons, which is quite surprising because we pretty much never get those two character weapons featured. and before we got the Gilbal with Lucia banner, I thought about using Sephiroth with Radiant Edge to debuff the boss, and he also has Enfeeble weapon, but then we got Lucia banner and Sephiroth's weapons are featured, so using Sephiroth will hurt you quite a lot because you'll be losing those additional equipment levels, but also using a support character will be much more efficient because of their class perk, especially Lucia, because she is a supporter with additional boost to Triangle Sigil when you activate Overspeed. And with or without her banner gear, she'll be really good for breaking those sigils. But yeah, the weapons are one thing, but with featured banner outfits you can get those highest levels, so it just depends on how many banners you have pulled on. So the ideal team is Lucia with a limit break gear, Vincent as DPS because he is currently the strongest physical fire DPS, and Naaki with his ultimate weapon to apply exploit weakness on both of them. And that exploit weakness will give you an additional damage boost that you otherwise lack. But Cait Sith with Enfeeble can also be good because he can also debuff fire resistance as alternative to Lucia, and he also has haste. But you'll need a diamond sigil somewhere, so you'll need either Naaki or Matt with this setup. And for DPS without Lucia, I think Yuffie could be the most solid DPS because she can buff her own fire damage and apply exploit weakness, unless you have Naaki's ultimate weapon. But Vincent and Cloud will also be good, Cloud especially if you have luck to buff fire damage, but without it, Vincent's command ability is just much higher. And even without her limit break gear, I think Lucia will still be a good support because she can break diamonds while debuffing physical defense and can also debuff fire resistance, but she's valuable mainly because of her Triangle Sigil boost from her support class. But then Angeal can do something very similar with Volcanic Heat and Greatsword or Diamond Breaker, so we have quite a lot of options to build the team even without Limit Break Lucia, but your score will be just lower. And I didn't pull Naaki's ultimate weapon, so initially I tried Matt as a healer, then Naaki, but Aerith just works best for me, but she's also my only healer with a banner ultimate weapon. And of course Cloud as DPS, but at least in my case, with what I have on my account, this team with Aerith just works best for me, and I can one-shot stages 1, 2, 3 and 4, even though it's risky, and then do around 65% on stage 5 and 18% on stage 6. Aerith has Bahamut outfit with Leviathan, Tarot to debuff fire resistance, Mithril Rod to buff magic defense, but of course Camera will be better if you have it, Princess Guard, Cura in all Cure slots, Bravery for Lucia, and a Triangle Sigil, and then in sub-equipment slots I have Odin because it's the best weapon with attack for allies that I have, and 2 weapons with physical attack for allies. Lucia has Fire Arcanum outfit with Crimson Flare, Shinra Rifle for, well, almost everything, Nightjar to break Diamond Sigils, Ultimate Weapon, Triangle Sigil in both slots, and 2 materia with Fire Potency, and then in sub-equipment slots Lucia has 2 weapons with physical attack for allies and T03N to boost her physical attack. And yes, this Bahamut collar is only OB1, but it gives her 15% physical ability potency from that extra +1 our ability level. Cloud has Fire Arcanum outfit with Hellfire, Sky Splitter for DPS, Baha Sword for haste, Ultimate Weapon, 3 materia with Fire Potency, and then sub-equipment slots Glavenus with HP and physical ability potency, Ultimatic to boost it further, and Zack's Crystal Sword to boost fire potency. And I have Glavenus because it's the team I'll be personally using, but any other weapon with HP will do. Cloud just needs a weapon with HP so he doesn't die to that charge attack. Alright, this will be tough, but haste for Cloud, and now wait for the sigil phase to begin. Fire resistance debuff, Night Glint debuff physical defense, and Lucia's new weapon that will give AB boost to everyone, those extra 2 ABs, but now start breaking those triangle sigils to get that max multiplier. And with Cloud just continue on doing DPS, but now also Lucia's free-to-play ultimate weapon to give Cloud damage boost, and just try to do as much of those attacks to get that hellfire early on while you're still in this stagger phase, because you do a lot more damage. Alright, that's good. And we should be fine, but also with Aerith, just buff magic defense, and Behemoth will cleanse himself of that PDF debuff, so just refresh it. And well, you don't really need to heal after this attack. On lower stages, on stage 5 and 6, it is crucial to heal. But now with Cloud, don't sit on full AB. With Lucia you can do one cast, but now activate overspeed on both and just start breaking those sigils, especially with Lucia. Prioritize breaking sigils, the triangles before diamonds, because she gets that additional boost. And then you can just finish it off with Night Glint, those diamonds. But with Cloud, or your DPS, as you enter the second stagger phase, activate overspeed and now just try to do as many attacks as you can. But also, before this stagger phase ends, activate all your limit breaks and summons, because I'm not sure why, but in this guild battle, this stagger phase always ends earlier. It might be just tiny bits on this bar left, but sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But I also use the summons while Cloud still has overspeed active. But yeah, the battle is pretty much exactly the same for every stage, because of those diamond sigils and triangle sigils. It just depends on both HP and how much damage you take during this one charge attack. But you absolutely have to break at least diamond sigils. Try to get the stagger multiplier as high as you can, but it's absolutely crucial to break the sigil phase to stagger the boss. But yeah, that would be it. So good luck. It's a really tough and annoying battle, but it is what it is. So really, good luck, and I hope you might get helpful. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next one.
当然の結果だ。遠慮はしない。